In books 2 and 3, we have one more hero who's even more famous and more important for American history. His name is Cincinnatus. Cincinnatus was an aristocrat who served one term as consul, and at the end of his term he was so popular that the other aristocrats urged him to take another term as consul. And he said, well, that's illegal. And they said, nobody's going to oppose you. Go ahead and do it. You do well. It's okay. And Cincinnatus says, no, it would be against the law. And if I refuse to accept this term of office, it can only enhance my reputation. He retires to a little 3-acre farm across the Tiber River outside the city limits. Now it would be right smack in the city of Rome. But back then, across the Tiber was country. He retires to a little farm, and there he hoes his cabbage patch, I suppose it was, along with his wife Rucilia. One day, the Romans suddenly discover the danger of the threat of a new enemy. Somebody else from outside the country is attacking, and they say, who can we get? The situation is desperate, it's urgent. We can't count on the bureaucrats in the Senate to come up with a good plan. We need somebody to deal with this urgent emergency right now. And they say, Cincinnatus. We can make him a dictator. So all the delegates of the city get into a rowboat and they cross the Tiber and they come to Cincinnatus, who's hoeing his cabbages. He sees them coming and he tells his wife to run, get his toga and bring it out, because the toga is the symbol of a Roman citizen. He puts it on to meet them with sobriety and gravity as a Roman citizen should. And Rucilia brings out the lemonade and the sweet tea. And they sit down and they say, Cincinnatus, here's the problem. We're in emergency status. We need you to be dictator and save the city. They make this offer of dictator to Cincinnatus, and he says, okay, I'll do it. And in less than 2 weeks, he drives out the enemy, complete victory, and then, and here's the important point, he resigns his commission and goes back to his farm. He's a citizen, but he's a farmer. He doesn't lay claim to his power. He goes back to his farm having resigned his commission. He could have kept it for 6 more months and enjoyed the perks of power, and nobody would have complained. But he didn't. Now, millennia later, in the founding of America, we have a similar situation. The Americans rise up in revolution against the British. George Washington, a farmer from Virginia, is appointed the general of the Continental Army. He carries out the job, and by 1783, he's defeated the British, and then George Washington resigns his commission and goes back to his farm. Washington could have kept power longer. Some people say that there was a move to make him king, and he said, no, we're going to have presidents. Now, there were people who wanted Washington to have more than 2 terms of office, but after 2 terms of office in 1797, he retires to set a pattern that presidents should limit their time in office. He did what Cincinnatus did. He did the job as a man of integrity and then resigned a commission that he could have kept, maybe corruptly. He resigns his commission and goes back to his farm.